we're here again, Week 8, start, sit, tight ends. This is Jonathan here, Play Action Fantasy Football. Why don't you guys go like and subscribe real quick before we start this video. Again, this is tight end start, sits for Week 8. All right, we're going to start off with Thursday night. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Bills. I'm going to have to sit Otten this week. We got Otten, Knox, and Kincaid. Kincaid suffered a concussion, so he's a little bit behind. He's questionable. We're not too sure if he's playing. So either way, I'm going to have to sit Kincaid this week. I'm sitting Otten. Otten hasn't been as efficient as he was in the beginning of the year and against the Bills defense. And the way the Bucs are playing, I don't see Otten getting the ball a lot. Mike Evans is showing up a lot, and so are their other receivers. So Otten's a sit, Kincaid's a sit. Sunday at 1 o'clock, we got the Jets at the Giants, Tyler Conklin and Darren Waller. We got Tyler Conklin. He's got to be a sit against the Giants this week. I don't trust him in any shape or form to be a starting tight end for any fantasy league, even if you're in a 16-team league. So Conklin's going to be a sit. Darren Waller's definitely a start. He had a great game last week. I think he's going to have a very good game against the Jets, and he's going to show what he can do regardless of who's quarterback. Next up, we got the Jags at the Steelers. We're looking at Evan Ingram for the Jags. He's going to be a cautionary start this week, and the only reason I say that is this could be a lower-scoring game. The Steelers have a decent defense. Jags aren't putting up points like they were in the beginning of the year. So Evan Ingram can still be a target. However, with the other weapons there in Jacksonville, he's going to be a cautionary start. So definitely start him if you got him, but you never know. There could be better options there, and I wouldn't expect him to have a crazy good game. Steelers, we're looking at Connor Hayward and Darnell Washington, and we're looking at those two because Pat Freiermuth is going to be out. Again, this is Monday that we record these, so things can change, but the way it's looking now, Freiermuth is not going to be playing. I'm pretty sure he's going to be out for sure. So Connor Hayward and Darnell Washington are going to be cautionary starts this week. They definitely have a good shot against the Jags. The Steelers are still trying to really find their groove, and one of these guys could step up and fill in that spot for Freiermuth because Freiermuth definitely played a part in the offense. So Connor Hayward has shown what he can do a little bit as well with Darnell Washington, but I'm leaning towards Darnell Washington just a little bit because this man is 6'7". If you got and Connor Hayward's like 6 foot. Now, if you guys have a tight end who's 6'7" and 6 foot, and they got about the same talent, who do you think you're going to take? So Darnell Washington, I think, is going to be the better option of the two. However, just be on the lookout for them. You might want to pick them up if you have another spot on your bench, or if you have a bye for a tight. There's no byes this week, but if you do need to fill in for a tight end, one of these guys can certainly be that person. So just be on the lookout for that. Now moving on to the Eagles and Commanders, Dallas Goedert, Logan Thomas. They're both starts this week. I know the Commanders have been struggling. Logan Thomas, he's been looking, last week he had an okay week. I think he's going to perform a little bit better against the Eagles. And Dallas Goedert, he's going to be putting up points against the struggling Commanders defense. The Eagles are going to pull this one out at the end of the day, and Goddard's going to be a part of that. So definitely want to start Goddard. And Thomas, I still think, is a solid start. I know he hasn't been showing too much potential, but Brian Robinson, the Eagles shut down a lot of the run, so they're going to have to rely on a little bit of the pass more this week, which is going to include Logan Thomas. So that's why I put him there as a start. Next up, we got the Rams at Cowboys. Tyler Higbee, he's going to be a sit for me this week. The Cowboys, those boys' defense, they're scary. So I think Higbee with Nakua back, Cooper Kupp, it's gonna be a tough one for Higbee to get a lot of receptions or usage yards. So I don't see him doing much against the Cowboys. However, Jake Ferguson, on the other hand, he's coming up on the rise. I think he's going to be a good tight end in the future in the league. He's going to be a cautionary start this week. The Rams do have a decent defense. However, the Cowboys at home, Jake Ferguson has been on a little bit of a roll. I think this could be a good week for him. Definitely a good cautionary start. If you need to start him, start him. Maybe a better option if you have a different tight end. However, Jake Ferguson definitely can get you some points this week. Next up, Vikings at the Packers. TJ Hawkinson, easy start this week. I shouldn't have to cover that too much. Packers defense is struggling a little bit. JJ out. Hawkinson's getting points. Luke Musgrave, he's questionable. We're not too sure if he's going to be playing or not. Again, this is Monday, so keep an eye out the rest of the week at his injury status, but he's going to have to be a sit for me either way. And then his backup, Josiah, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, Josiah DeGora, he's going to have to be a sit this week. I don't think even if Musgrave isn't playing, he's not going to be getting enough targets to really be a starter in any sort of league. The next one we're going to be looking at is Falcons at Titans. Now, this was a tough one, I'm not going to lie. For both sides of it, really. There's Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith, and then there's Okonkwo for the Titans. So, for Kyle Pitts, he's going to be a cautionary start. I wanted to sit him, but honestly, he's been struggling quite a bit this year. I think this definitely could be the game where he steps it up a little bit. Desmond Ridder hasn't looked like a great quarterback, but last week he improved a little bit, I think. So Kyle Pitts is on the uprise. He's going to be a cautionary start. You might want to throw him in there, but don't expect too much from him. Jonnu Smith, on the other hand, is going to be a sit. Okonkwo, he's going to be a cautionary start as well. I think against the Falcons, who like to shut down the run, this is going to be one where Malik Willis might be able to get it out, or whoever. I'm not too sure if Malik Willis is throwing the ball this week, but Okonkwo is still going to be a cautionary start. If you have him, I'd feel confident in playing him, but I would not rely on a lot of points from him. The next 1 o'clock game is the Patriots at Dolphins. We're looking at Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki, and then Smythe for the Dolphins. Hunter Henry, he's going to be a start for me this week. I think this is the week where he comes back and actually goes off. The Dolphins have allowed a lot of points on defense. They're always involved in high-scoring games. So I think this is the week where Hunter Henry can actually come back. He had the best week or two in the beginning of the beginning of the season. So I think that he can bring that back this week. So he's definitely going to be a start for me this week. And Mike Gesicki's a cautionary start. He's right there behind Hunter Henry, not far behind. I believe he caught a touchdown last week, and he can definitely get points, but he's going to be cautionary just because of the amount of usage and his explosiveness. He's not quite as explosive as Hunter Henry, so I'm going to have to be a cautionary start with him. Still feel confident in playing him. But Smythe, on the other hand, he's scored 0 points in the past 2 weeks. I mean, that's just pitiful. The Dolphins have so many other weapons. They don't use them, so he's definitely going to be a sit. The next one is the Saints at the Colts. Tight end Taysom Hill for the Saints and Kylen Granson for the Colts. Colts is looking a little messy there. I'll start with the Colts. Kylen Granson, he's questionable. He's going to have to be a sit either way. I think he is dealing with a concussion. He played a little bit against the Browns and went out, so I think he's most likely going to be out. He may clear concussion protocol, but we'll see. So on the other hand, if he's not playing, we got Drew Ogletree and Mo Alley Cox. They're both going to be sits for me, Ogletree and Mo Alley Cox. Going to have to be a sit for me. I like that name. But yeah, I don't see them getting points against a good defense in the Saints. Tight end Taysom Hill, he's going to be a big start for me this week against the Colts. The Colts defense obviously is giving up a good amount of points, and they're banged up. Their DBs are banged up. It leaves Taysom Hill, who can run the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball, anything he wants to do. So Taysom Hill's going to be a very good start this week. He's going to put up a lot of points against the Colts, and look for him for the future in this season because their schedule gets easier and easier. Next up, we got the Texans at the Panthers. We're looking at Dalton Schultz and Hayden Hurst. They're both going to be starts for me. I think this game could potentially be a high-scoring game with kind of how bad each team, I guess, is, I should say. But they're all so good. I'm not going to lie. So Dalton Schultz is going to have to start for me. He's been 3 for 3 the past 3 weeks. He's had a touchdown. So he's had a touchdown 3 weeks in a row, which I know some people will say, well, that's just another reason not to start him, that he might not have a touchdown this week. But I disagree. I think against the Panthers, this is going to be 4 for 4 games in a row, and that will be that. Now, the Panthers, Hayden Hurst, he hasn't had a touchdown since week 1. So I'm going to go on the flip side of things, and I think he's deserving or he's due for a touchdown. So Hayden Hurst is going to be a start this week. He had a good game last week. Texans has been struggling against tight ends. I think this is a good week for Hayden Hurst to come back and definitely get points. Now we're going to the 4 o'clock games. First up, Browns at Seahawks. David Njoku, Noah Fant, and Disley. Njoku, that's going to be a tough one for me. It depends if Watson is playing or not. If no Watson and P.J. Walker's playing, you want to play him. He's going to be a cautionary start for me, but I do think if P.J. Walker's playing, he's definitely going to be getting a good amount of catches and getting yards. So he's going to be damn near a start, but a very, very solid cautionary start. But if Watson is playing, he's going to be a very questionable cautionary start. I would lean towards maybe not playing him unless you have to, because Deshaun Watson really is not finding him. He's not finding many people, but Njoku's really not one of them. So take all that into consideration with David Njoku being a cautionary start. Noah Fant, he's going to be a sit for me, and same thing with Disley. The Browns have a good defense. Noah Fant is, very good tight end. I shouldn't say very good, but he's a good tight end. He's athletic, the most athletic tight end they have, so he has the most potential, but I don't see it happening against the Browns this week, and especially not the way Geno Smith has been playing. I know they got a win, but that doesn't mean a whole lot when you don't play too great, so definitely going to sit both those tight ends. So moving on to the Bengals at 49ers, we are looking at Irv Smith and George Kittle. Irv Smith is a sit for me. He hasn't been putting up shit this year. Bengals are going to everybody else except for him, so he's a for sure sit. George Kittle, on the other hand, he's definitely a start. I mean, Brock Purdy's throwing the ball well. George Kittle's a great tight end. There's no reason against the Bengals at home for him not to put up good points. And then another 4 o'clock game, Chiefs at the Broncos. Travis Kelce, Adam Troutman. This one, I don't even know if I need to talk about this. Kelce's a start, Adam Troutman's a sit, and that's all I'm saying for that. Our next 4 o'clock game is the Ravens at the Cardinals. We're looking at Mark Andrews, Zach Ertz, and Trey McBride. This week, I'm going to have to start Mark Andrews. He had a good week, very, very good week last week against the Cardinals, who's not a good defense, especially against tight ends. Trey McBride, I think he's going to be a sit. He had that really cool, he jumped over a defender. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, he's just a little bit flashy. Nothing more than that this week. Going to our Sunday night football game, Bears at Chargers. Cole Kmet, he's going to be a start this week for the Bears. I don't care who's at quarterback. Cole Kmet, I've always had a lot of trust in him. He's a good tight end. Chargers are struggling, especially against tight ends, so look for Cole Kmet to definitely get you a lot of points, no matter who's playing QB. Gerald Everett, he's going to be questionable this week, so we record this on Mondays, so we're unsure exactly how his injury is going to play the rest of the week. I do apologize for that. We work full-time. We got other stuff going on, so this is going to be Monday when we do our stuff, so when it comes to injuries, just be on the lookout for that stuff. Gerald Everett, he's going to be a start, though, if he is playing. I definitely like Gerald Everett's matchup against the Bears. Going to definitely get a lot of points. So on the flip side, if Everett's not playing, Parham behind him, he's going to have a good day. I think he's going to be a cautionary start. I didn't say a great day. I said a good day. He might have 10 to 12 points, nothing more than that, but definitely a good tight end filler spot. Which brings me to the final game Monday night. We're looking at Raiders and Lions. Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer, and Sam Laporta. I'm not going to cover Sam Laporta too much. That's a start. Raiders defense is shaky. Hooper, he's going to be a sit for me. Lions have a decent pass defense. They're not too impressive, but enough to slow Hooper down, who hasn't been doing much at all. So it really doesn't matter who Hooper's facing. It's not really a matchup thing. It's more of Hooper's just not getting the ball because Michael Mayer, he's coming up. He's a cautionary start this week. Lions have a decent defense, so he's going to be a cautionary start. He does split stuff with Hooper, split those receptions and whatnot, so he's going to be a cautionary start. He can definitely get points, but I wouldn't expect too much from him. So maybe you want to pick him up off waivers, see what he can do. But that will do it for our our tight end start sits for Week 8. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this is Mondays, so take that into consideration, please. And thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, and most of all, comment. Let us know what you think. We like those positive vibes. Let's keep it going. Have a great weekend, and have a good fantasy.